Hey YouTube, so sorry, I know it's been about 2 weeks since I uploaded anything, and I had a small project that I was working on. Small project. Okay, so some of you may recognize this if you saw one of my channel updates that had the doghouse plans in them. And I decided to build this little model to get a better idea of how this doghouse would go together when I finally get the materials and can build the full-size version. So I've ran into some interesting complications during this little model build, and I just kind of wanted to go through and hit some highlights with you guys of the model build and tell you why I did it and the issues that came up. Alright, so let's get to the video. Yeah. Okay, well, I guess I can show you this part. Mesh goes in there, which will be the mesh in the ground, because I'm actually planning on putting mesh in the ground underneath the rock to keep the rock from sinking. However, the rocks are still drying, so. So we'll wait for the rocks to dry, and we'll actually set this aside and get started on the actual doghouse. Yay! Now I need my plans. What happens when you're not organized?
When you have a child in the room.
Alright. Oops, watch out, dog.
My baby blanket. That's what I want.
Okay, so
So faded.
yeah. Alright, so I think what I'm going to do, I'm going to measure these 4 inches. Never ever film with other people in the room. Alright, hold on. I'm going to pause the video because I got to go find something to cut these pieces of wood with. Back. My daughter is dressing a stuffed animal at the moment.
Will you leave me alone? I'm going through stuff.
And I found a little baby saw for my
It
X-Acto.
is. As is the key with all of going through things, you must play with them for at least 10 minutes before throwing them away.
Well, you're not going to throw away chocolate bunny.
No, I'm not. Actually smells like chocolate, too.
There's a stuffed animal that smells like chocolate. It still smells like chocolate.
Oh my god.
Not on my video!
It's not on the video, I promise!
People are going to be wondering now why in the hell I am yelling.
Spencer's. We'll say that. Spencer's.
Yeah, Spencer's. That's all anyone needs to know.
Oh my god, there's so much. Oh my god.
Oh my god, Mika, come on! Honey, I love you, but jeez. This is impossible. It's animals! Knock it off! I gotta edit that out. They're like knocking the camera all over and stuff.
At least it'll be like fast forwarded.
Anyhow, as you can see, I'm using little saw to cut little boards. Wow, which direction do I need to go here? Little saw. Okay. I'm going to get a couple of these cut. So, that's all I'm going to be doing. We'll be back. Alright, I hope everybody had a great New Year's and made it home safely. So, something that I realized after I got up this morning, is that the problem with gluing rocks to something is that they don't move around. So, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to take my rocks and I'm going to sprinkle some of these out. And, I suppose it probably would have been a whole lot easier to just build this on a flat surface and then, just glue the rocks around it or something. Maybe that would have been easier. Probably a lot easier. I'm going to try to make a nice pad for this thing, and I don't know. I may actually have to just abandon my rocks here. Unfortunately. Like I said, it's been a long time since I built a model, and I don't even know if I've ever really done a model quite like this. I don't think I've ever done an architectural type model before. So, kind of being a pain in the butt. And I may actually abandon my... Yeah. I think I'm going to have to abandon this. And I will just... I was trying to make it so that I could take the layers apart. But apparently I did not do this the right way. So... I guess that was a lot of wasted time yesterday. I'm thinking what I'm going to do is I will just... Kind of sucks, but I'll just paint this one. And when I'm done, I'll just take some of my extra rocks and glue it around it. Make it look nice. Because this just is not working out the way I had originally thought it would. I'll post the video anyways. Or maybe, yeah, I might post it on my Patreon because it's kind of a mess up, unfortunately, doing that. There are some funny things in it though. So, yeah, I'll post it as a as kind of a blooper type of thing on my Patreon, and we'll continue with the flat board, and I'll just backwards. Yeah. All right. Well, let me get this cleaned up, and then we will continue building this little doghouse. So what I'm gonna do is I found these popsicle sticks left over from some other craft that I had, and what I'm gonna do with these is I'm gonna line them up as straight as possible, and I'm gonna measure them, and I'm gonna cut off the ends, and these will be representational for my my OSB or my plywood. I'll just glue them together and then cut out the shapes that I need. So that's what I'm going to do with these. And I'm going to work on that. And after I get the first batch done, I will come back to the video. Okay, I have my first piece cut. And I'm going to go ahead and glue it on there. And then I'll get the rest of them cut and glued. It's going to be a long process. Let it sit for a little bit. Maybe if I can find a way. Anyhow, this is what I'll be doing for a little while. Okay, so I've got most of these cut, and something interesting that kind of happened is some of them are actually too short and too long, just by a few millimeters. So I think I'm just going to line up one side as best as I can, and I'm going to glue it down. Now, something that did happen, these aren't, you know, exactly the right size, so I do have one on the end here that I'm going to have to cut down to size. So I'm going to glue these others first, and then I'm going to flip it over so I can mark this one, and then I'll cut it down and finish gluing. Okay, while that's drying, I am just going to paint this real quick. I don't think you need to watch me paint it. Pretty simple. Acrylic, board, brush, paint. Alright. Okay, so I've got this painted. It's not the greatest paint job, but that's okay. I put a base color on, then I put a light wash on. I'm not even sure if the wash is going to show up all that well, but it's going to dry. I've got this glued together. It's got to dry, and then I will probably paint it before I start putting other pieces on it. So for now, it's going to be a matter of looking through my plans and probably cutting and measuring some pieces while this is drying. So that's that's what I'll be doing now. Okay. Hey, so it turns out the foam board was actually going to be a better representation for the foam board insulation. So I'm just cutting out a small square here. Yeah. And then I'm going to cut it in half, and it will go inside these two little slots right here. Okay. Yeah, so that's what I'm doing right now. I got the foam board cut and put into place. I didn't even bother to glue it because they're just pretty well stuck there. And I painted some of the pieces that I'm going to put on next. I haven't cut everything yet because my measurements on here aren't exactly the same. Don't translate quite right because these aren't really 2x4s or 2x3s. I think actually they had those 2x3s. So some of these pieces I'm going to glue on and then take a measurement and then cut the pieces that go in between them. So from here on out, it's kind of just going to be a little bit of a slow process, but it'll get done. I've got a couple more boards in place here, but actually this one isn't even glued. I have it in there pretty good, but unfortunately my paint job's not going so well, but that's okay. So I've got more boards cut. I'm probably going to start on the uprights here pretty soon. Just going to get this glued, let it dry for about 10 minutes. That's about all the time this glue takes. It's pretty nice, except it doesn't give you a whole lot of working time, but I think it's okay. Not much else to update on right now. Just plugging away at this. hoping might be able to get it done tonight. Maybe. We'll see. Okay, that's it for now. I think I've got around about 98% of the boards cut. There might be a couple little ones that I still need to cut, but I am going to start. Some of these I've got painted, but I'm going to start assembling the walls. And once I get the uprights done, I will record again. Alright, I think all of the uprights are in place now. They're just drying, and I don't know if I'm going to get any more done tonight, because it is getting kind of late. So, hopefully I can finish the frame tomorrow, and then start working on the skin. Okay, so I'm going to put on the top pieces here real quick. And then while that's drying, I will paint the rafter boards and hopefully get those on in a little bit. No, not all my boards are straight, but obviously you wouldn't really be building it this way anyways. You build the walls individually and then put them on the base and nail them down. So model build isn't exactly like a normal build. Put this. Something I found with these little boards is they're kind of like normal boards. They have dips and bends in them. I'm gonna have a paper towel close by to wipe the glue off on. Alright. I'm gonna let that dry. And I'm going to paint those boards so that we can finish the frame. Alright, so just wanted to give you guys a quick update. I ran into a little bit of a problem here, and that is my rafters really aren't fitting well. This one's okay, but this one in the back, these just aren't really long enough. So I'm going to I'll use that one as a template for the back ones, but I'm gonna have to recut the ones in the front because they're just not long enough. So be a little bit longer before I can get the rafters on. So I've got my new rafters cut, and they're not perfect, but I think they'll be okay. And this is actually exactly why I wanted to make a model, because if I'd just gone off of my plans and tried to cut my wood and everything else, I would have found that that there was some problems, and I would have had to probably wasted a lot of wood trying to correct the problem. Like I said, these aren't perfect, but they're pretty close. I think they'll be okay. Once I get them glued, they'll sit okay. So, anyways, I'm going to paint these and then get them glued. These pieces are pretty well dried out now. And there is one mistake I did make. And that is I forgot to cut a little bird's mouth on these. Doing so would have changed the angle. So, I don't know. I could redo them again, but I don't think I'm going to. I think if necessary, I can just put a board in between these and tack it together and hold it in place on the full scale version. So I'm going to go ahead and start gluing these together, and we will see how it looks soon. Alright, well, I'm going to... My glue has got snot coming out of here. Alright, I'm going to let that dry. And then we will put on the end caps. This one's actually... looks like it might be a little bit short. It's kind of a bummer. I think the rest of them are okay. Well, we'll see how it goes. Yeah, we'll see how it goes. Alright, so what I'm doing is I'm taking one of these end pieces here, and I'm going to mark the halfway point. This is 4.5 inches, so 2 1/4. And then I'm going to glue this on the halfway point right to that center one. Now it'll work on this side. Unfortunately, it's not going to work on the other side, and I may have to figure out a different way of putting this on the end where it's actually supposed to be, and then filling in the little gaps, because I mean, I probably should have recut the rafters, but I just don't feel like it. So I'm just gonna fill them in, and I'll measure the rafters for reference that are the correct length. Okay. And my dog is back. Oh my gosh! Mika! Apparently, I need to spend time with my dog first. Don't lick it! Gosh. Are you... Oh my gosh, there's another dog. We have a lot of dogs. And they demand attention. Alright, can you go settle down now? I gave you love. Would you go settle down, please? Isabel. Isabel. This is not going well. Alright, no fighting on my lap. No fighting on my lap. Come on. Come on. Go on. Go on. Go play. Go play. Go play. No. Get down. Go play. All right. I'm gonna have to. I'm gonna have to stop the video. Good God. Good day, YouTube. So, I have the frame done on this, and I don't think I'm gonna do any more on it. This is kind of what building a model is for. It will show you where all the flaws are. So, I found many flaws with this design. I mean, it looked good on the computer, but you know, when you start putting it together, some things didn't work out. For instance, let's see, these caps here, or these top, what are they called, top cord or something? I can't remember right now. Sorry. They should really just extend all the way out to this this double truss here, and which would remove the need for these spacers, really. You know, having the roof, having it with two different pitches here, it just doesn't work. So I'm going to redesign. I'm going to put in a board underneath these and make sure that they're the same height, and just have the same roof pitch on both sides. There's no reason to have a separate roof pitch on this side. Let's see what else. My original design actually only had this as like a block here, so I extended all the way across, and I can nail it on this side, and then that'll give it a little more support, because otherwise it's, you know, it won't be very stable. I will say that I think it's pretty solid, but I don't see any reason to put the skin on the model, because I already know where the flaws are. You know, it just, to me, cutting all these out, putting them in, well, actually that would be open right there. I mean, that's a lot of time. You know, that's a lot of time. And I think my time would be better spent to go back into my computer model and redesign where I found the flaws. Redesign it in the computer model so that I can make an accurate, you know, instructions on how to put it together, and then I can follow my own instructions and put together the real one. So, yeah, I think I'm just gonna leave it how it is. It's a good example of why. Oh, excuse me. It's a good example of why you would build a model, why you would take the time to do this. Because if I had gone out and I had bought all the wood based on this model, I would have been recutting and redesigning on the fly. It would have been a lot of wasted materials. I probably would have had to run back to the hardware store more than once to buy additional materials, because I probably wouldn't have bought enough to redesign it. So, or redesign it on the fly. So, that's why you do this. That's why you build a little model. And it took me 3 days, but I wasn't working on it all the time. You know, it was, I don't know, maybe a total of 10 hours, maybe. Most of that was waiting for glue or paint to dry. So, I mean, if I hadn't painted this, I could have just thrown it all together. You know, it wouldn't have been nearly as time-consuming. So, and I don't even think I'm going to put it on the base. I mean, that just takes up more room on the shelf. And I will keep it. I will keep it to remind myself of why it's a good idea to build these models. So, I'm going to wrap up this video, and I will get it edited. I may throw together another model just to test it out. I don't think I'll record that if I do, but I may throw another model together. And then after I do a little bit of testing, I will go buy the wood and build the real doghouse. And I'm planning on more than one of these. So, you know, I want it to be easy to put together, and I'll have the plans. Once I finalize the plans, I'll have those available on my Patreon. And I think I'm thinking about doing a $25 gift card giveaway to Amazon once I think I'll do that once I reach about 50 Patreons. We can reach about 50 Patreons, I'll do that Amazon giveaway. Okay? So if you're interested in getting these plans or the plans for the incinerator, go sign up on Patreon, and then you can have access to these. And like I said, I'll get these plans posted as soon as I redesign and get them finalized. So if you liked this video, then hit the like button. Yeah, that's great. Hit the like button. And if you want to see more of these, click the subscribe button and push the little notification bell, because apparently YouTube doesn't always send out notifications of new videos. And I will see you in the next video. Bye. Okay, so I have some more rocks sorted out. And you might really want to question your choices in life when you are sorting through aquarium rock to find smaller rocks. Anyway. You're on camera now. You're on camera now.